Well, howdy, physics sleuths and inquisitive souls, and welcome again to yet another lecture of dynamic gravity. So today, I'm going to go over the divorce rate. Okay? This is something that I always knew was bullshit, like my whole life, because I'm doing the math to myself, and I'm like, I know a lot of people, that used to get married back when I was younger, and almost every single one of those marriages ended in divorce within like 6, 7 years. I don't know anybody that got divorced. I mean, that got married that didn't get divorced. No one ever. And then when you count, how the divorce rate's been going down. My bad. The marriage rate has been slumping down so very quickly. The last 10, 15 years. Now that feminism is in full effect, and women can basically just see marriage as a tool to extract wealth from men. That's it. That's all the majority of women see marriage as, is their get out of jail card free to fill up their bank accounts when they get in their elderly years or whatever. I'm just going to find some simp guy, marry him, take his money, fuck him. Um, so it's getting really crazy, but yet none of the statistics are showing this change. Like, there's so much bullshit going on when it comes to all of this that it's just crazy. And I noticed this, like I said, a long time ago. All right, I realized this, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it. Like, mathematically, what they're telling me seemed sound at first glance. Well, the divorce rate's only 50%. It's always been 50%. That's always what it's gonna be. Or less than 50, really. The odds are in your favor of getting married. Really? They're in your favor. We're never going to say anything otherwise. Because the fucking moment they do, the whole system collapses. Hate to break your fucking heart, sunshine, but every fucking civilization that ever did anything, that turned to an empire, that did anything worth a fucking damn, did it because they started off very conservative and embracing all the tenets of religion, which pretty much instills the framework for monogamy and marriage, through marriage, okay? With no divorce. Fuck you, no divorce. That's the deal. Sorry. So, but this, a lot of people don't like this, especially women. They want to fuck who they want, when they want, why they want, and get paid to do it, and then call themselves boss bitches. That's what they fucking do. So they bitch and they cry, and over time, the men that are in charge change the rules and make it more liberal. And now your conservative, staunch civilization, which was backed by God, doing very well, is now all of a sudden decaying and degenerate. And within 100 years of embracing feminism, every society, every civilization has fell. Happened to fucking Sparta in 70 years. Happened to fucking Rome in like 90 years. Happened to fucking Greek. Yeah. Happened to fucking every civilization, pretty much. And if you don't believe me, read the work of Unwin. Yeah. You never heard of him? Doesn't surprise me. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Why don't you do a little reading before you get back to me on that? So, that's the deal, all right? Marriage is extremely important. It is literally the pillar upon which civilization itself and humanity is propped up. So when you have fuckery going on in your divorce rates, it's because the beast, your godless government of authority, knows this. They know that the second men lose confidence in marriage, everything crumbles rather quickly. So they have nothing but incentive to lie and manipulate and massage these numbers with statistics and do bullshit like, rolling averages and surveys and blah, 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 and only count this and only, we're going to count this and that, but not this and this. It's all bullshit, and I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to do the real math and show you the math they don't fucking show you because it doesn't look good. Okay? And the numbers don't look good already, all right? They already admit the divorce rate is nigh 50%, okay? That's a pretty fucking horrible coin flip odds to endure on whether or not some bitch gets to divorce you, take half of your wealth after she goes on a spending spree. You have to pay for her lawyers to do all this, and you got to pay for your lawyers, which are doing nothing but extracting all of your funds because that's what lawyers love to do. And she's gonna do character assassinations and claim that you did all this bullshit that you never did just to justify to the judge, or maybe they'll walk in and say fuck you, no fault, I don't feel it anymore. Right. And that's a pretty horrible odds for a coin flip, man. And that's the odds they're admitting. So they're worse than that. Okay. If the house tells you the odds are 50-50, they definitely ain't 50-50. The house has got the advantage. They don't want you to know that because they want you to spend your fucking money in the casino. It's a deal. All right? So, we're going to go through all this shit. And it's going to get real ugly. And it's going to get real bitter and real jaded. And these statistics, it's all bullshit. I'm going to show you. Let's go. Come on. Let's begin. Let's fucking do this. All right? I'm fired up. I'm fueled up. Let's start this fire and fucking see how big we can get this fucking bad boy to burn. All right? So, what we got here, okay? Oh, listen to this, guys. Oh, this is something right here. Here we go. Beast propaganda mode on. Engage. Well, the common myth suggested 50% of marriages end in divorce. Current data shows the rate is much lower, around 40% for first marriages, with some estimates placing it closer to 23, really, depending on what you consider a divorce. And when you calculate it more accurate, though it varies factors like age and education, remarriage status, and blah, 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 which can confuse you. You don't need to worry about any of those things. We'll let us worry about. The perceived 50% often comes from comparing raw marriage and divorce numbers from a single year, which is statistically misleading. Okay, that actually is true. It is misleading to compare the divorce and marriage statistics from a single year. Okay, because it's not fair. Because you're not counting how many people that got married in like 2024 ended up getting divorced. What you're counting is how many people filed for marriage in 2024 and how many people filed for divorce in 2024. Completely unrelated events because the parties didn't even know each other. It's not the same thing. So that's actually true. But they tell you that's the reason why you should listen to them that is closer to 23%. This is all bullshit. Don't believe this. Please. If you know anything by now, the world is a lie. The beast will never tell you the truth. I will never lie to you, and I will never I will always tell you the truth. Because I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks about me. Never did, never will. So I'm going to speak my damn mind the way I see it. And if that leads in a gunfight to the death, I'm ready to go, son. I want to meet my Lord today. Let's fucking go, nigga. Now. Ooh, looks like I might be getting a package delivery soon. Very nice. Okay, so, but here we are. But, 50% of marriages end in divorce. So we're right back at 50. Oh, now it's only 41%. Oh, but this is first marriages. Remember, they claim first marriages. Okay, 40%. So that statistic is contingent. I can see that. Percent of marriages end in divorce in England and Wales since 1963. Blah blah blah. Oh, some 16% of divorce in 2020 occurred during the first 5 years. So now they only want to calculate the first 5 years of a marriage because that makes even super low numbers. Oh, 16%. And that's probably, self-reported. All right. So, raw data. In 2024, we had an estimated, that's a fucked up estimate, 2 million marriages occurred in the United States, okay? All right, so we got 2 million weddings. Okay, that is a rate of 6.1 per 1,000 people. That is, it's a lot more than I thought it would be, to be honest. But let's dig into this, all right? So, this is actually a decline, okay, as you can see. Here is the marriage rate. Now, the population has grown significantly since, say, 1990, all right? So when you have raw numbers like this that go up, it might also, which it has done, it also could mean a decrease percentage-wise, like, 6% out of 1,000, which would be 0.1%, because, yeah. So, but you can see this is the going trend of marriage. It is going down. All right, men have been losing confidence in marriage for a long time, and that's just the deal of it. Which means society is starting to crumble. And then when the pandemic hit, especially, nobody got married, and ever since then, the red pills really dominated mainstream media, whether they like it or fucking not. It has. Men don't give a shit anymore what CNN has to say. They don't care. Fuck you. And yeah, and so now confidence has dropped off an edge, but they still want to pretend that the institution of marriage, which civilization itself is set upon, is still rock solid and in good health. Because the second that goes away, now your civilization crumbles immediately. This is a fact. All right. So know this: the marriage rate has been decreasing radically. All right, and here is the marriage rate going back further. Okay, and if you want to count from after the baby boom, from World War II, my lord, look at that drop. Now, of course, that was a spike, so an anomaly, an oddball. Not really fair to include it, but you can see the average has always been around, let's say, what, 10, 11 per 1,000 of the population will get married in any given year. Okay, but in around 1950, that started significantly dropping off. The marriage rate started dropping off significantly in 1950. Okay, went down even as low as 7, where it rebounded for a couple decades, and then it immediately started going back down again because men are realizing that marriage is not a good deal anymore for them. Not when the odds that they're telling you have, which is not even true, is a flip of a coin on whether you're financially ruined because some woman doesn't like that she saw your fucking hair on the soap or something in the shower. I mean, it doesn't. I've seen it. Okay, I got 3 fucking sisters. Okay, you think I don't fucking haven't heard all the bullshit fucking excuses that women come up with when they don't like a fucking man anymore? They literally pick the first thing that comes to their fucking mind, and that's it. That molehill becomes a mountain that now is insurmountable. Even if it's something as stupid as I saw one of his hairs on the soap. It's over. It's over. All right. That's a deal. Okay. So let's continue. Households headed by marriage couples 2020, lowest ever recorded rates. Yeah, we know this. But now look at these numbers. They look a lot different, right? This chart looks a lot different than this one. That's buckery. Although this is households headed by married couples, I guess it's a slightly different thing. Hard to compare. But okay, here we go. Now we've got some other countries getting involved in this fix, not just the United States. The United States is a perfect pot to look at for a lot of different things because it is a blending pot of many different ethnicities, nationalities, and races and cultures. And so if you have your thumb on the pulse of America, you kind of have your thumb on the pulse of at least the Western world. Truth. But as we can see, other parts of the world, like Poland, Mexico, South Korea, United Kingdom, are significantly even lower than America, which is already at the lowest it's ever been. All right. I mean, look at United Kingdom. My lord, what's that? That's one. That's like almost one person out of 1.4 persons out of 1,000 get married every year. And keep in mind, it takes two people to get married. So really, this number is telling us that two people out of 2,000 people are getting married. Which I guess you could say, what is that, 1,000? I guess you could say it's the same. That's pretty bad. That's horrible. Okay, that's horrible. Now, you would expect with this declining marriage rate that the divorce rate would also be declining, but this is not the case. I guess divorces are declining, but not the divorce rate. Okay, here's a divorce. All right, you can see it was pretty much non-existent back in the day. There are reasons because getting a divorce back in the day was very, very hard. Originally, you're not allowed to have a divorce traditionally by marriage, by religion, but I think it was King Henry VIII back in the day who said, "Fuck you, I'm sick of my wife, and I'm the king. I want to fuck a bunch of chicks." And so he had a spat with the Catholic Church, and I think they refused to allow him to get divorced so he could do this. And so I think he like kicked him out of the country, and then started the Protestant Church, or whatever, that does allow divorce. And he's like, "Yeah, fuck you. I'm the king. Do whatever I want." Great, lovely. So he pushed divorce into the masses just so he could get his dick wet by a different pussy hole once in a while before he had her head cut off. I guess he stopped getting her head. That was his first thing. Oh, well, till death do you part? Oh, well, she's getting her head cut off tonight then. Oh, I guess I'm going to be single. I'm the king. What are you going to fucking do? Oh, fucking assholes. All right. But you can see, divorce started around here in the 40s. All right, we're going to go to why. And it's been rising ever since. And now we're at pretty much this steady state peak for divorce. Although they claim it's been going down. I don't know if I believe that. And the reason why divorce really started kicking up in the 1940s is because divorce laws. Throughout history, yeah, okay, my bad. Until the law adopted in 1969 is when the no-fault divorce law came about, starting in California. All right, they led the way. But before that, you could get divorced. I think in the 1940s, they really started opening up divorce from, very, very rare circumstances to if it was like alienation or something. I don't know, like sexual misconduct, like raped her, beat her, whatever, was insane. In fact, doesn't it say that somewhere? It does not. We'll dig into it. Don't worry. I'll find it again. But that's what you need to know. Around the 1960s, this really started kicking off. Like right here, bam. In the 40s, they opened up divorce a little bit to, allegedly the women that needed it, allegedly. And then in the 1960s, they just said, fuck it. Any chick that wants to get divorced, just say irreparable differences, and the judge can't say anything about it. Even if those irreparable differences are, I saw one of his hairs on the soap in the shower, and now I'm mentally damaged forever. Okay, whatever. All right, so that's that dealio. Okay. Now, in 2024, we had about 1 million divorces. Okay, nearly 1 million divorces in 2024. All right. So remember, in 2024, we had about 2 million weddings. So this does work out to be just shy of 50% if you look at this statistic at face value. Year of marriages, year of divorces. And this is how the rate's been calculated for a long time now. Because the way, if you calculate it in that way, it's always going to be most forgiving to the divorce statistic and not the marriage statistic, right? I'm going to show you this with math. Don't worry. I always bring the math because that's what I do. I'm a geek. All right. So we got a million married, 2 million married, and a million divorced. All right. Here's the divorce rate. You see it climbing up, and then they say it's been going down recently. I don't really believe that. I think they're just counting differently, but what do I know? I could be wrong. All right. Marriage and divorce rate, they claim they're always 50-50 of each other. That seems very suspicious every single year for like 100 years, 50-50. Maybe not 100 years, but a while at least. I don't buy that personally. But the reason why divorce has really been kicking up is feminism. Okay, in the 1960s, because of feminism, the first wave of feminism, women got suffrage, the right to vote, right? Well, in the 1960s, I believe they started giving them rights like the ability to have their own bank accounts, the ability to file for divorce, no fault divorce, or at least open up any stupid reason as a valid reason to possibly grant divorce, in a marriage. Okay, these are things they don't tell you about. They just want to focus on things like Roe v. Wade, reproductive rights, which also was horribly negative to society. Yeah, look at how society's gone since that day. It really hasn't been that great. But there's nothing here about them getting rights granted to open bank accounts and all this stuff, because they want to hide that. Just like if you go into third wave feminism in 1990, very rarely do they talk about sex positivity now. It used to be the biggest tenet was that intersectionality in third wave feminism. Intersectionality was basically a coalition formed with all of their minorities. And so they would say, okay, well, if you're a female and you're black, we want to consider someone being mean to you. You might think it's because you're black. We're just going to say it's because you're female, because now we can come to your defense and aid. And with the lesbians and gays and transsexuals too, they wanted to bring them in the fold and saying, okay, if someone oppresses you because you're acting like a girl, then we're going to say that's a chauvinist, anti-feminism, whatever, and so we're going to come to your aid. Intersectionality is basically a coalition they formed, a cabal almost, to give themselves more power and authority exerted throughout society. Okay. But one of the tenets was sex positivity, and I swear it's almost written in this wording too. If we're all whores and sleep around, then men have no choice but to marry a whore. We win. Fuck you. Literally, that's what it says. It's fucking insane. But the problem is, when women were designing these tenets for feminism, they never actually consulted any men and saying, hey, if all women are whores, are you cool with just marrying a whore? They just assumed. They don't fucking know, man. No woman has ever needed to know the mind of a man to be successful at procuring sex. She just takes a shower, walks into a bar somewhere, and charges a fee of $100 and spreads her legs, and that's how easily she gets laid and gets paid for doing it. It's really not that fucking hard when you're a woman. Right. But lost my concentration here. But yeah, they never consulted any men, all right? And so actually, as it turns out, no, men don't want to marry whore. Fuck you, they want to marry virgins. At the very least, they want to marry women that have the least amount of dicks inside of them as possible, which in this day and age is almost impossible if you prefer your wife ungangbangged. Sorry, we don't have any of those in stock. Fuck you. Marry a whore, you get nobody. Well, as you can see from the marriage rates, men have spoken. And they're like, okay, well, I mean, there's some guys like, well, I'm going to try and make this work with a whore because, I don't have a choice. But as you can see, the vast majority of guys are like, well, then fuck you. I'm out. Peace. If that's the only options you give me are marry a whore and take a coin toss for financial, bankruptcy and having my life ruined and never getting to see my kids and having them hate me and blah blah blah. If I even get kids, blah blah blah. Then fuck you. I'm not gonna play your rigged game. I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. Fuck you. And they didn't understand that this is the actual mentality most men have. Now you can con some men. There's always a sucker. There's always a simp around. There's always people that are going to do whatever women tell them to do because they know that, especially in this day and age, their choices are very, very limited if they don't, unless you're comically tall or comically rich, in which case you have nothing but options and choices in this day and age with feminism. Funny how that's all women wanted was just the right to be whores and be ran through and gangbanged by all the tallest and richest guys in society. That was it. That's all it was ever about. If you think it was about, oh, it was about equality, it was about rights, and we were being mistreated. No, they just wanted to get gangbanged and ran through by all the tallest, richest dudes in society, and then have the simps pay for it. That's it. That's fucking it, man. That's all it was ever about. And I'm sorry if you don't believe that. You haven't been paying attention. Wake the fuck up. We need you. All right? So, we're getting deeper and deeper down this rabbit hole, and it's starting to get more and more intense and more serious, as I promised it would. Okay? So, feminism came around and basically wanted women to be able to get divorced easily so that they could take advantage of men and women can have infinite options to be whores to all the tallest guys. And keep in mind, this is what suffrage came out to be too. and the very first 1910s, whatever, they don't talk about it here because dirty little fucking secret. But as soon as women got the right to vote, you know what they did with that? They went around and pushed for a legal age of consent law. Okay, 18. No pussy until she's 18. I mean, at first, it sounds specious. It is specious. At first, it sounds like a good ideal. Okay?
Well, but, why would you want to fuck a 16-year-old anyway? I mean, well, it seems kind of odd, right, when you could have an 18-year-old? I mean, why would you?
They say these things and they try and make you feel bad because you're attracted to fucking virgins at the end of the day. That's what you want, is a virgin. I don't give a fuck what age she is. I want to marry a virgin. I don't give a fuck if she's 15, okay? God impregnated Virgin Mary when she was 15. Do you think I give a fuck, nigger? I really fucking don't. You want to have a shootout to the death over it? That's how serious I am about this issue. I will die for this issue and I will kill for this issue. And I don't give a fuck what the goddamn beast has to fucking say about it. I don't. I never did, I never fucking will. Stay the fuck out of God's business or you're gonna fucking die. Damn beast. Alright, sorry, didn't mean to go on the fucking hateful rate. Our fucking rager there, but I told you, this is a fucked up issue, and it's gonna be fucking very hotly contested. I don't give a shit who you are, you're all in on one side or the other on this fucking issue. Whether you're dumping this bitch, or whether you're a fucking man. You're all in on one side or the fucking other. The question is, which team are you fighting for? The whores that just want to be ran through by the tall dudes, or the dudes who want to build and fucking run society and have virgin brides and families and fucking live good lives. Alright? So, suffrage came along and gave women the right to vote. And then they used this to leverage against all the people, the politicians at the time, to guilt trip them into making them think that everybody's a fucking pedophile if you want a virgin wife.
Well, the virgins are like fucking 15 and 16. Why would you want to fuck a 15, 16-year-old when you can have an 18-year-old or a 22 that can drink?
Really what they were doing is, with the way it's always been throughout human history, is kind of like pre-organized marriages, okay, pre-arranged marriages. All right, I see that you have a daughter, and I need a wife, and your daughter's only 12, okay, but I see she's already turning very beautiful. I like your family. I want to marry her. Okay, so I come to you and I say, listen, your daughter's 12. I know she's too young, but I want to be a suitor to have her be my wife. you know. And so then the father, like, okay, I'll consider that whenever she's of age. Of age being, you know, typical age when God says women are of age, when he impregnated Virgin Mary, whatever, when women usually, you know, get pregnant and all that, all of human history, around the age of 16, 17, 18. Okay. Usually by the time they're 16, women have always been considered marriageable. Okay. 15, kind of young. I don't think it was done that often. I'm sure it was done sometimes, but not normally. Usually it was waited till 16 or 17. Okay. The woman would usually have to have her sweet 16 party to become a woman first. Ergo 16. Okay. So this is the deal. And so they had to stop the prearranged marriage deals. And the only way they could do that was to make it illegal. And so they basically made it illegal to marry anybody under the age of 18, which would be the whole point of a pre-arranged marriage. You know, you'd want to get the girl when she's a virgin and young. So all these girls are now have to be 18 to get married. Sounds like not so big of a deal at first, right? Until you realize, well, fuck, man. Most girls, if they don't get married by the time they're 16, then they give that sweet, sweet virgin pussy to some fucking random fucking 16 or 17-year-old dude who's fucking spitting game at them. Okay? One way or another, they're losing their virginity around that age. Okay? And now it's much younger. I think most girls now, you lose their virginity in like 14, 15 at the latest. So what are you fucking doing when you have these laws that say no pussy till you're 18 or it's statutory rape? Is anybody fucking listening? Is anybody paying attention? Are there any girls that actually make it to fucking the age of 18 or 19 with their fucking hymen intact? I would argue very, very few, if any, especially this day and age. Okay? So now the whole point of prearranged marriage goes out the window. Bitch has already lost her virginity to some fucking dude, so you're not getting a virgin bride that you want, and she's older, and she's already fucking resentful, and now she's going to be moving out of the house when she's 18 to avoid any pressure from her father thanks to feminism, and now she's going to be a whore in society and get ran through. And then in her late 30s, try and marry some rich simp, hoping that he can bail her out, where she can divorce him a few years later and take all his money, and then try and keep fucking riding the CC again, the cock carousel. It is what it is. Yay, feminism. Isn't it done fucking wonderful things for your society? Yeah, fucking amazing. So that's the deal, okay? So that's the way that feminism attacked religion, which sole purpose is to institute the monogamy marriage into society, because that's A, what God likes, and B, that's what good humans fucking do. Okay? Think about all the people that you trust. Okay? Are they fucking dudes that run around joining Bonnie Blue gangbangs and shit, you know, and are just horn dogs looking to stick their little fucking pink dick in any fucking hole they can find? Is that the dude you trust? Or is it a dude who got married, you know, early on, maybe his early 20s, you know, to a teenage bride, and they've been married for 20 fucking years, and they got 3 kids, and, you know, they go to church, and, you know, they're just happy, content people with their lives? Which one do you find more trustworthy? Okay? And this is not a fucking hypothetical. Like, in your own life, who do you fucking know that's like this versus that you trust that you don't trust? It's a real simple fucking equation. I bet I know which way the odds are going to lean. Am I prophetic? Or am I just not a fucking blind imbecile? I'll let you decide on this issue. Okay? So, that's the rundown on how feminism has sought to be the antithesis to God and religion, and how they succeeded and were victorious. And a lot of times when God talks about Satan, he's talking about feminists. Okay? They are the direct antithesis to God's plans for humanity. They don't like religion because they think it oppresses women. because it doesn't let them get gangbanged by all the tallest dudes in society. They don't like marriage because they think it oppresses women, because it doesn't let them get gangbanged by all the tallest dudes in society. They don't like anything unless it allows them to get gangbanged by all the tallest dudes in society. That's all they want. That's all they fucking care about, okay? It is insane. It is fucking insane. And you might be like, no, Sean, you're crazy, dude. That's not the way, that's not the way women are. Let me show you fucking this thing. Let me show you this thing, okay? Let me see. I just want to see if I can find this story. There was a man, okay? I don't think this was it. I'm going to find this. This is going to be a thing. All right, give me 1 second. Okay, so I found what I was looking for. And I know, I can read your mind right now. You're like, Sean, you're being a misogynist, hateful piece of shit, thinking that women only care about fucking tall dudes. Do I really, bro? I would like to show you Exhibit A. I call him Homeboy. Okay? This is fucking Homeboy. Alright? South Dakota Republican. So he's a Republican. Already women hate him because women are all liberals. Charged with rape after losing an election to his mom. Let me explain this fucking story to you. If you are not blackpilled by this, then you're a fucking idiot. Homeboy, in 2022, ran for a county seat. Okay, some bullshit low-level election thing. Okay, his mom also ran for that seat, and his name is Bud too. His mom also ran for that seat. He lost the Republican seat to his mommy. Okay, he then went to a bar, and it's in South Dakota. All right, to get drunk because he's like, fuck this. So while he's drunk, he's at a bar. He's talking shit, being an obnoxious piece of shit to everybody in the bar. Some dude calls him out, says, you're a fucking loser anyways. You lost to your mommy. Go fucking home, bitch. They get in a fight. He gets his ass beat by this dude. Like, it's not even close. I mean, he didn't even touch him, bro. The dude just pieced him up like a fucking idiot. So dude is a loser on all counts. He's a Republican. Girls are liberal. They don't like him for that already. He's a loser who lost an election to his mommy. And then he went out to a bar and got in a bar fight after being obnoxious and pissing off everybody in the bar. And then lost said fight. Hopelessly. Wasn't even fucking close. Blood still all on his fucking face. Dude walks up to the hottest chick in the bar and says, hey, you want to go to the bathroom and fuck me? Without even hesitation, this bitch said yes. They go to the bathroom. She fucks him. But he's an asshole. He wants more. So he sticks it in her ass when she doesn't want to get ass raped. And so he ass rapes her. She gets pissed about this. And then he makes her suck his dick clean with all this shit on it. That really pisses her off. And now she's like, well, fuck it. I just wanted to get fucked. I didn't want to get ass raped in ATM style. And so then she goes and tells the police, well, I said yes, but then I said no. So technically that's rape. And so they charge him for rape, okay? I don't know if that's right or not. I couldn't tell you whether that's right to charge man for rape or what the fuck that is, but I know this. You might be asking me, what the fuck? This dude is a loser who lost in a losing situation, who does nothing but just lose and lose a lot. Yeah, I know. He lost at least 5 good times by my count. A loser by all fucking accounts. And he's broke, too. And his name is fucking Bud. His name is fucking bud. And yet he can still walk up in that whole situation to the hottest chick in the bar and say, hey, you want to fuck me? No game, nothing. Just, you want to fuck? And she's like, yeah, let's do that. All I can tell you is this motherfucker is 6'7". Comically tall. 6'7". And if you were 6'7", I'd be willing to bet all my fucking money you can do that all losing bullshit in the same fucking thing and still walk up to the hottest girl in the fucking bar and still get pussy. Now, look me in the fucking eyes and tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. I have 3 fucking sisters. I've paid attention to their bullshit. I've been with girls. I pay attention to their bullshit. I've had lots of friends and I had lots of girls who were very successful because they were fucking 6'6". And they told me all the bullshit they did and how little fucking effort they needed to do it. Okay? At the end of the day, if you honestly think that women are attracted or at least respond to anything sexually but comically tall in 2025, you're a fucking moron. You need to wake the fuck up. We need you to wake the fuck up. That's that. So, anyways, I digress. Back to the math, because that's what this is all about. Fucking math. Alright? Fucking feminism. Alright. We got Jesus, alright? Just so you know, Jesus' official stance is, but I tell you that anyone who divorces his wife except for sexual immorality makes her the victim of adultery, and anyone who marries a divorced woman commits adultery. So Jesus is basically saying, listen, once you get married, the vows are pretty fucking clear, are they not? Till death do you part. And if for whatever reason you cannot be together, unless it is under the clause of she's a fucking whore that got gangbanged, if you get a divorce, you are never allowed to remarry. You had that and you fucked it up, fuck you, never get it again. That's Jesus' official stance on the matter, okay? So Jesus is not about the divorce. Fair to say. And if you marry a divorced woman, you are guilty of committing adultery in God's eyes. Okay? That's pretty fucking... Okay, it's not just her fucking problem. It's your problem because you should have never married a divorcee, a divorced woman. Because she's still supposed to be with her fucking husband, even though she doesn't like him because she saw the fucking hair on the soap. And so bullshit like that. Alright? It's always bullshit. I got 3 fucking sisters, okay? You want to know how many times I'll sit there and listen to them cry and bitch about some fucking dude bucking them over, and then I talk to the dude at school and he's like, that's not how it went at all. All that happened was I took a shower and accidentally left one of my hairs on the fucking soap. And I'm like, that's it? And he's like, yeah, dude. Like, I don't even get it myself, dude. I don't understand. What the fuck is going on? And I'm like, well, holy fuck, dude. That don't make no sense at all. Yeah. Welcome to feminism. The only way it makes sense is if you look at it from the perspective that women do nothing but fight for the right to get gangbanged and ran through by the tallest fucking dudes. That's it. If you look any deeper into it, nothing makes any fucking sense. Alright? So, now, this is going to come into our mouth, alright? We need to know a couple things, alright? We need to know, A, the average life of a marriage, okay? And we need to know, B, the average life of a marriage until it gets divorced, okay? Now, because we're using an average, our number's not going to be perfect, but it is going to be ballpark. It is going to be close, okay? But it is not going to be perfect, but it is going to be close, okay? Now, let's take a look. First marriages ending in divorce around 7 to 8 years, okay? So 7 years, 8 years, whatever, first marriage average gets divorced. So when you average out all the divorces, they come out to be about 7 to 8 years in, okay? But when you get married again, which happens a lot because a lot of people are codependent retards, they'll get married. Well, women will just get married as many times as they can find a willing dude, just so that they can get that money if he's got any money to extract at all, or financial resources, retirement check, fucking you name it, buddy, they get it, man. So women will get married as many times as they can if it's in their financial incentive. Men, however, most men don't get married too many more times after they go through a bad divorce. But I have seen a few guys that are codependent that they feel the point of life is just to have a pussy hold the fuck at night. And they don't care what they got to pay for that. If they don't have that, they ain't living. So they want to get married. And then if the chick divorces them, whatever. They'll find another girl, they get married, whatever. And I've seen that. It's kind of sad. They'll have like 4, 5, 6 fucking marriages, and it still ain't working. But in their eyes, that's life. Is to get married and to have sex and hopefully have children. And in this day and age, that mentality just don't hold up too well against the feminist dragon that loves to slay and devour and fillet men alive. That's the way it is. All right? But, so we're going to average the average. Yeah, we're going fucking deep on this one. We're going fucking hard like a porn star, baby. All right? So, we got an average of 7 to 8 years, and then we got a secondary average of 17 to 21 years. Well, guess what? We're going to have a third average. We don't know what that is, but we know it's going to be a lot too, the average third year. That's going to definitely be more than the first year as well. So we're just going to average out. We're just going to say a clean, I don't know, 12 seems like a fair compromise to me. At least 10. We're gonna extend this from 7 to 8 to 10 to 12 years. Okay, I'm thinking maybe 12. 12 is a good compromise because this is like 17 to 21, and then we count third, fourth, and fifth marriage. It's gonna be even worse. So, yeah, I'm gonna say average marriage. Let's say 12 years. Okay. 12 years. All right. Okay. So, the average lifespan of a human is like 70, 72, right? 70 something. So, let's say if they get married when they're 20, which is not happening, but let's just pretend, we're fucking pretending. The average total lifespan that we're calculating of a marriage is 50 years, okay? Let's say you're not going to have very many marriages that go on beyond 50 years. We're going to say the optimal lifespan, the maximum lifespan of a marriage is realistic that we're going for is 50 years, okay? That's the maximum. But our average is 7 to 8 plus 7 to 21 plus even more. So we're going to round that out to 12. Okay, the average of the average, all right? So, here's my math I did from, I don't even fucking know, man. I'm fucking lit. I don't even know, dude, where this shit came from. Is that even me? Or is that my evil fucking twin, dude? I don't even know. You can tell because he has like a goatee. So, it's at the speed of light. By who the fuck? I was so drunk when I did this. What was I even fucking trying to? Is that lead? No, that's not lead. I don't even know. Whatever, man. Just fucking get rid of this. Start. we got math, okay? We are going to do divorce rate. Divorce. Box, okay? So, we have currently our average divorce rate, remember, they say is 50%, okay? 50%. And they don't even want to say it's that much. But we're pretending now. We're pretending that their face value attribute is right. 50%, okay? So, our base value that we suspect that they're telling us is 50%, okay? But we have doubts about this number. We think it's fucked. So we want to try and add to this number because that's the direction things are going. So if the average lifespan of a marriage could possibly be 50, all right, but what we're actually getting on the average of the average is 12 years, okay? So it should be 50, but we're only getting 12 before a divorce, okay? Not all, just the ones that get divorced, okay? So, there's a concept I have to bring light here before we go any further, okay? And it's that when they started recording these statistics for marriage, obviously divorce wasn't even a thing. But even if it was, what you're going to have is the people that got married, let's say in 1900, let's say they weren't even allowed to get divorced until say 1930 something, let's say 39. Let's get cray with it, right? So that's like almost 40 years of virtually no divorce, okay? That's going to skew numbers quite a lot. Now, if we go and let's say they open up the divorce in 1940s to allow, now we got marriage rates coming in, okay, but they're very low. But the people that get married and say this, when they start allowing divorces, aren't going to get divorced for remember, let's say 12 years, at least 7 or 8 years, right? So we're going to go for a whole 7 years, okay? Or 8. Before these statistics really start kicking in, okay? So all of these numbers are going to be delayed, okay? So what I'm trying to say to you now is they want to pretend the divorce rate is around 50% or lower because so many people got married this year and so many people got divorced in this same year. But in actuality, if we were to outlaw marriage, or let's say men are like, fuck you, not a good deal anymore, no men get married, zero marriage rate, nobody's getting married anymore. But we still have all the people that got married before in the past, okay? Pew 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 and pew pew pew. And there's still numbers that are accounting. And every year, 1 million of these people, let's say, for going by divorce statistics, are going to 2 million. Every year, 1 million are going to get divorced, right? So this is going to add another say 7 to 8 million divorces that have to be counted into the statistics that have not budged by one single number in years for marriage rate. So we outlaw marriage, and now we're starting to come to the true number of what our true divorce rate is. Of how many people, what we want to know is how many people that get married ultimately file for divorce. We don't give a shit about how many people filed for divorce the same year that filed for marriage. Those two stats don't mix. They don't relate. They don't mix. They don't tell you a whole lot. I mean, they tell you something about what's going on in the overall market, like general trends, but they don't give you specific stats because you're refusing to count all the people that got married before that are now slowly getting divorced, that are the actual divorce rate that you're measuring now as you're also measuring the marriage rate. Okay? So it's a delayed. The marriage rate is the instant, but the divorce rate is delayed. Okay? So you're never going to have an accurate count, statistically speaking, until you stop counting marriages and only count divorces. Okay? And you have to do this, and they can argue, well, if you give it a long enough period of time, the two numbers will average out, but that's not really true, all right? If we look at, say, the average lifespan of a typical marriage, like I said, 50 years. But what we're getting is a divorce occurs after 12 years, okay? So if we divide 12, the average of years of a marriage before it ends in divorce versus the totality of what a marriage is meant to be or what its optimal thing is, what we get is 0.24. Okay? Now, we take this number and we times it by 100 because it's a percentage, right? What we get is 24. Okay? 24%. 24% is the delayed lag of divorces that have not yet hit currently, but are statistically inevitably going to come. Okay? So we're calculating this, but this isn't calculating everything. If we stop the marriages and let all these marriages end in divorce that are eventually going to trickle out in divorce, what we truly get is another additional 20.24, 24%. Okay? So, my bad. You can't see this. So we add 24, or we add 50 plus 24, and now we get the true marriage rate. $74%. There you go. That's it. That's your true marriage rate. Now, this is an approximation, okay? An average. This is not going to be 100%. The actual rate could be slightly higher than this. Could be 78%. Could be 76%. Could be lower. Could be 73%. Could be 72%. But I have always felt, personally, from my instinctual gut reaction, that the actual divorce rate was not 50%, but was closer to 75%. But when I was young and dumb, I couldn't see I couldn't figure out how the two were incompatible and what was going on, why the numbers weren't working out. Now that I dig into this, you can see why. Okay? That's why. Get some more. All right. So, that's the dealio, okay? You've been lied to your whole fucking life as a man, because the second men as a whole in general lose faith in the institution and framework of monogamy through marriage, the entire civilization crumbles. And the beast is not stupid. The beast knows this. The beast knows how much money it has to spend from tax revenue on this or that. And it does surveys and blah, 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 blah. They know. They know that marriage is pretty damn important for the security and stabilization of society in all ways. Okay? So they have no interest to dig deeper into these numbers to show you the true revealing nature and statistics as they truly are. You shouldn't trust them. The true divorce rate is about 75%, okay? That's worse than a coin flip, okay? That's like doing a coin flip to see if you're going to get divorced and go through financial ruin, and then if you win your coin flip, fuck you, you have to do it again. And if you lose that coin flip, fuck you, you're done. That's the odds we're dealing with, okay? It is a coin flip and then another coin flip on top of that if you win that coin flip. And if you lose either of the coin flips, fuck you, financial disaster and ruination. Also, that your wife can run around and get gangbanged by a bunch of tall dudes on your dime. How you loving feminism now? Is it doing good for you? You loving it? I know the women are loving it. They're fucking loving it. Oh, they're relishing it. Every second of it. They can't get enough of it. How about you, though? Are you good? Just a question. Hurts, don't it? Think about that. Yeah. Maybe one day we'll be ready to have that conversation. All right. Well, 2-2. I'm going to get lit more than I already am and try and cast off these negative juju vibes that have been, accumulated upon me during this whole video that I really didn't enjoy. Yeah. And next week I think we'll dig into AI. All right. Adios. Muchachos. See you. Bye. Blah, blah, blah.
Like, subscribe, submit.